because at least he fights for them. He's there for them late at night. Like he always sticks up for his students. He doesn't seem like he wants to go anywhere. So I think that is kind of a cool thing about his teacher. I think students like that because they just knew that, hey, this guy's kind of a rock. He's not flaky. He's not trying to be a savior, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of liked.
They tested him out, too. Like the main student that he had to turn pulled a knife on him the first day.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have gone to jail for life for that.
What an errant throw catches Steven's aorta. And
it's all over.
It's all over. There's blood all over the fireplace. Or, no, the fire, whatever you call it, fire station. But and then, okay, we're jumping ahead. But, no, actually, can we talk about Silverio real quick? Because
yeah,
I think Silverio gives Stevens a lot of chances in this movie. Like, Stevens shows up, beats up everybody on a ballpark, on a basketball court. His men, his guys who deal for him. He shows up, Silverio beats up Stevens. He's like, okay, well, you're not good enough to train my guys, but you can train my cousin. That's fine. You can train Orlando. I'll see you later.
Basics.
Yeah, cool. It's fine. I don't care that you showed up here and beat up 3 of my guys and then beat up all my guys and then talked back to me and talked about puking and whatever. Like, it's cool. Like, you can teach him. And then he starts taking money off of his table because he takes Orlando for a night and Orlando's not working. And then he fights him again at the schoolyard. Like, Stevens is a military guy who just trained locals in Central America or South America. They're never quite clear about where he is to kill drug cartels. Like, he's training. Mm-hmm. He should know that a drug kingpin, you only have so much latitude with these guys. And it ends with a student dying. It's very naive for a guy who trains soldiers to battle cartel.
Yeah, or not think a couple steps ahead. Too.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's coming. What countermeasures do I need to take? What precautions do I need to make? Sort of thing. Yeah, it's a good point.
I just kept
and
thinking,
it all ends up in tragedy, mm-hmm. and then he goes on revenge. Like, he could have gone away for life by going on this revenge mission. I mean, he blew up a car. He dropped a different car on another guy.
Oh, he smushed that dude.
Yeah, he smushed the guy under a car. I mean, it took a dark turn where it. You know, he's not. Was he really a hero? I mean, he kind of temporarily went insane for a little while.
Orlando, his student. Orlando, who has grown up under the thumb of a violent drug dealer, shows up there and he goes, listen, like, it was a tragedy that he died. We're all going to miss him. He made great beats. His songs are great. We're going to miss him a lot. But you probably shouldn't go attack this drug dealer because you're fueled by hate. Like, just don't do it, man. Like, his high school student's being rational. And then he's like,
yeah, you're right. The student
became
the teacher.
And it sounds like I'm hating on the movie. I'm not. I just love, I was just watching this going, man, he's not a very good teacher. Because at least your high school students are showing up to get your back. But he's more of a buddy to them. He's not a teacher.
He's not technically a teacher, yeah.
I just love that Orlando was like, hey, man, maybe.
That guy had a good arc.
Yeah, good actor. Like, I like that kid a lot. He was really strong in this movie. I don't know. When your students are telling you not to go on a dangerous revenge mission that's going to get somebody murdered, it's oh man. But
especially when you're only fighting using capoeira. I mean.
Yeah.
I actually Googled, is capoeira effective in a street fight? And the answer was on Google, when used well by an experienced player, capoeira is extremely useful in a fight. It increases one's ability to react quickly and dodge blows. It also contains numerous effective kicks and trips and nasty blows with the head, elbows, and knees. And for those who don't know, capoeira originated in Brazil. It's a fighting style that incorporates dance and music. But, it's not the most effective for going on a revenge mission. You got to dig deeper into your repertoire with some other skills if you're looking to take on an entire gang.
Yeah, capoeira is just such a free-flowing thing. I would say the best thing about capoeira is the foot movement. Like, a lot of people who fight, and probably the cardio that comes with it, and you capoeira.
That continuous movement.
Capoeira needs space as well, so you know how to gauge space. So I think if you know the basics of capoeira, you have some good footwork down. You know angles, because that's how you can't just, you have to use angles to kick these people. So you probably understand, you have footwork, you know angles, you kind of understand head movement, And let me tell you something, Eric. Growing up in Hudson where we did, there's some good fights in our high school. There's a lot of scrappers where we came from.
And they never got in trouble either. They just let them fight, and then they just went to the principal's office for a minute, and then it was all done.
We saw a lot of fights. If one of those kids knew capoeira, they would have won. Just because of this. Like, we had some stone cold tough kids, but no one expects a capoeira kick if you start dancing in front of somebody, just a tough scrapper kid, he's not going to see that kick coming in.
Maybe not, but it does take a long time. It takes a long time to wind up those kicks, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get a lot of momentum and movement. And I have a theory that we have not seen another capoeira movie since 1993 because it's so hard to choreograph the fights. I mean, you can have two guys playing, because that's what they call it. They call them players when they're doing it. But all the kicks to the face were the shot of the bad guy looking at the camera and the leg just sweeping in front of their face.
Yeah.
It was like 9 out of the 10 blows were that exact same shot. So it's very hard to capture that versus you're doing any other martial arts with more punches and kicks and more face-to-face action.
Well, I've been covering a lot of Final Fights on the Final Fights podcast, and if you think about it, jiu-jitsu, right? You just need a tight quarter to take somebody down and give them a rear naked choke. If you're boxing, you could box pretty much anywhere. I mean, not in a bathroom, but you could have a tight quartered fight. I mean, actually, I watched a fight where Liam Neeson fights a guy in an airplane bathroom with very Bourne-esque movements where they're just sort of chopping each other with credit cards. But it's capoeira. You have to create a 30-foot circle, like a radius. So more than that, probably like a 60-foot radius around.
Gotta be outdoors.
So then you have room, or in a fire station, right, that has cavernous openings. If you're John Wick in that club, you're not doing that. If you're an old boy, you're not doing that. If you're in Commando, you're not doing that. Like, you need the Raid. Imagine one of them trying capoeira. Like, you need, that's all elbows and knees.
The Raid wouldn't have made it past the first floor if they were doing capoeira.
It would have been.
Or imagine Tom Cruise doing capoeira in the bathroom fight on Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah. Just give me a second, and he gets his foot movement going. So it's.
I gotta do my Jenga a little bit here.
I think they filmed it right in this movie because they do. I mean, these two guys, Silverio and Dacascos, like, they trained their butts off for this. The one thing I did like about the choreography of this fight is they did let it breathe. Both the people in this fight, I mean, the two guys, Dacascos and Paco, I mean, they look good doing it. Like, these guys were legit fighters, and they a lot of good wide shot. You know what's nice about capoeira? You need to have a wide shot because the movements are so like Bourne. Stick a camera in his face, like, shake it. These two dudes, you need to pull that.
I feel like it gave me ADHD after I watched any Bourne movies because the cuts were so fast. Like, you have no idea. You just see fists, feet flying in such rapid cuts. So yeah, it was nice. It gave them a chance to really show off their athleticism.
Yeah, I just think it's, like you said, what is this movie? You have, because the one nice thing is you never have the speech. He talks to him. He's kind of there for him. That kind of, he gets to him on that level. So you don't have a Mr. Holland's Opus where every student in the school stands up and, well, actually they do that for him at the end. No one slow claps for him. They all love him because, I mean, he helped take down a dangerous drug dealer and he's still around helping kids graduate. So he's earned that. But it's not pompous clapping. They're like, we love this dude because he can kick you. So is it a inspirational teaching movie? Is it,
or a revenge flick? That's what I want to know from Mark what is this movie?
I mean, Orlando has the greatest arc in this movie. Well, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Orlando's the one with the arc.
By far. There's always that one student in every teacher goes into a tough urban environment. They have to turn that one student in order to get the class.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to turn Orlando to get this class. Dangerous Minds had that. Stand Deliver had that. Everyone has that one student you have to get to achieve victory.
And he has the arc. Because if you think about this movie, the other students have something to lose, but Orlando seems to have it all to lose. Like, his soul's in the balance. He has his... I mean, it's kind of hard to say no. I mean, you and I in high school, one of our cousins wasn't a dangerous meth dealer in Florida that we had to run errands for. So we're very lucky in that regard. But poor Orlando, he just grew up in this area. He seems still like a nice kid, but you still have this anger in you. And then you have your cousin just wanting you to deal drugs. So he's ahead of it. So you can get a pretty good spot with this guy. So he's the one, I think, with everything to lose. Whereas Stevens comes in, does whatever he wants, doesn't think about the repercussions for his students, ends up with them getting into like almost a machete fight.
Yeah, that could have been catastrophic at the end. At the end, his students he tries to take on this entire gang. He gets cornered by about 30 guys with machetes. And at that point, I would have just jumped in the water and swam away.
Yeah.
Like, he was by the water. I'm like, dude, Lewis, just jump in the water and swim. But his students came to help him. But that could have been really bad because they didn't have any weapons. And all the bad guys had all these machetes. So, that could have been truly catastrophic about what he got his students into.
How long did he train these kids for? A month? 3 weeks?
It's hard to tell in movie time. I don't know if it was 3 weeks or 3 months.
Because here's the interesting thing. The capoeira masters that we see in the beginning of this film, those like amazing martial artists have been training for years and years and years and years.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
Since they were kids. And,
you took capoeira for a month and a half. And how much did you learn?
Yeah, nothing, really. Yeah. Because it was this crowded area. I'm a tall guy. I kept running into other people. I remember doing the practice. The Jenga, I just didn't have it in my blood. Mm-hmm. If you have this in your blood, the rhythm, the music, and you can really feel it. But yeah, this is a lifetime endeavor. It's not something you really pick up. Yeah. But I also, it's like they had to find actors who were athletic guys.
Yeah, there's some flips and kicks.
They had to do some physical elements here during this movie, so they probably had to cast based on athletic ability.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. So they said they tried to find actors, but then they were like, well, we can't teach, we don't have that much time, and we don't want them looking silly, so then they just cast athletes and stunt people. And like, a lot of these high schoolers that he casts are much older than 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in their 20s.
Yeah, he brought in actual either martial artists, stunt guys who are all like that. So he brought in people who he knew could capoeira or convincingly look like they're about to capoeira. But I just feel bad because they've been training for, let's say, 1 month to 3 months. That's not enough time. I boxed for a long time. I boxed for not like every day, but like junior year I boxed, senior year I boxed. And then I trained after college I was boxing. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty tough. And I boxed this guy that was a Golden Glove. He was a former Tough Man champ, and he pulverized me in about 60 seconds.
It's a whole nother level.
Yeah, a whole nother. And so it was that moment. It was a very important moment for me. I was like, oh, there's levels to this. I just felt bad for these kids, these high school kids. But I got to tell you, when you're 11 years old and you see one of the high school kids just spin kick a henchman into oblivion and just drop him on his face, that's a great gag by the stuntman. He goes down like a lump of coal or like a lump of bricks or a bunch of bricks. I don't know. He goes down fast at the end.
I will say that scene was just as funny now as it was when we were kids watching this, because the guy walks up, slaps him in the face, and it's this very ordinary looking guy. He's kind of pudgy. He's kind of dorky looking. This guy just slaps in the face and then just a full on roundhouse to the face. Like it just takes. Yeah. It was good writing. I'm glad that was in there. But I think that was the guy's only scene because he didn't have any talking lines through the whole movie. I don't remember him at all until that part where he roundhoused the guy. It's probably the actor that could do the best roundhouse kick.
He looked sassy a lot in the background of scenes, but that was it. Okay. That's kind of an interesting role because you don't have any lines, so I don't know if you're a featured actor or you're an extra who's featured. So he's probably
Is
around.
Is there a difference in pay? Is there a difference in pay?
Oh yeah. So if you get a line, you can get your SAG card. You can get okay. I was a swim coach on Teen Wolf, season 1. So I got hired as a featured extra, and this was one of my first ever extra jobs. So I was like, this is awesome. I get a bump on top of my regular pay because I'm featured as the swim coach. Like, this is amazing. There's a pool scene. I'm the swim coach. And what happened was they're like, oh, we need somebody to say something. And like, well, we have a swim coach. What I didn't know at the time, if I got that line, I would have gotten like $1,300 to $1,500 up front. Then I would have gotten $1,300 to $1,500 again. And I probably could have been SAG eligible because I said a line in a show that is SAG, that's union. So I went
so
from
close.
Yeah, exactly. I went from making a pretty good. I was making probably $50 more than all the other extras that day because I was a featured extra. But I could have jumped up to like $3,000 just with one line. So that kid, I don't think ever has a line, but he does have a kick, which makes him featured. So I don't know if he got that bump or not.
Let's ask him. Let's find him.
Yeah, send him a message. Hey, did they pay you scale on that? Who knows? But
there's two takeaways. I want to know that, and I also want to know why the hell this movie's not streaming anywhere. Can we start a petition or a hashtag? Can we ask someone why this movie is not on Netflix?